Mookie to left. Peterson running out of room. 3-run home run. Mookie Betts.
Get ready for baseball's ultimate showstopper, Mookie Betts. In a game full of surprises, Betts stands out as a game changer. From his unlikely start to his jaw-dropping feats on the field, Betts is rewriting the rules of the game. Now, as he takes on a new position, watch as Betts proves once again why he's a legend in the making. Don't miss out on witnessing greatness. So nothing in baseball is a sure thing. Just ask the 2019 Los Angeles Dodgers, who won a whopping 106 games, but then face-planted in the National League Division Series. Or the 2021 Dodgers, who matched that 106-win magic, but crashed out in the National League Championship Series. And don't forget the 2022 Dodgers, who upped their game to 111 wins, only to get booted in the Division Series. Fast forward to last year, 100 wins, and you guessed it, another Division Series exit. Basically, just ask the Dodgers how to turn regular season triumphs into postseason heartaches. Despite this, some things can make success in baseball more probable, and coming into the 2024 season, the Dodgers were the talk of the town. In the offseason, they threw money around like confetti, committing a cool $1.4 billion in salaries, while somehow managing to look fiscally responsible. It's a real talent, like pretending that avocado toast isn't overpriced. They nabbed Shohei Ohtani, the best player in the world, basically Babe Ruth 2.0, but better. They pieced together a lineup featuring 3 former MVPs at the top. They bolstered their pitching rotation, trading for an ace and landing Japanese sensation Yoshinobu Yamamoto with a record contract. On Thursday, The Athletic published a deep dive into the Dodgers' offseason spending spree. The highlight? Opposing teams seem to have accepted their fate, muttering, "Oh, to be the Los Angeles Dodgers," while wiping away their tears. Even the Yankees pitied their position, which is saying something. Sometimes it rains in New York, and sometimes it pours in Dodger dreams. In mid-March, the Dodgers took off for a 2-game series against the San Diego Padres in Seoul, South Korea, to kick off the season as the league's showcase team. Think of it like a high-profile field trip, only with way more jet lag and baseballs. But by the first day of spring, the Dodgers were already stumbling. The trouble began just before their big trip, when it became painfully clear that Gavin Lux, their shortstop, who's supposed to be the infield superhero, had forgotten how to throw to first base. Not exactly what you want from your supposed defensive rock. Then, after winning their first game in Seoul 5-2, the Dodgers were hit with a bombshell. Shohei Ohtani's representative accused his interpreter, right-hand man, and buddy, Ippei Mizuhara, of a massive theft to the tune of $4.5 million. To make things juicier, Mizuhara had just told a reporter that Ohtani had willingly wired the money to cover Mizuhara's gambling debts. Ohtani, by the way, firmly stated this week that he has, quote, never bet on baseball or any other sport, and never, quote, asked anyone to do it for him. So that's one less worry for the Dodgers fans, right? As if that drama wasn't enough, the next morning at 3 a.m. Pacific time, Yoshinobu Yamamoto made his much-anticipated debut. Unfortunately, he was chased off the mound after giving up 5 runs in just 1 inning. Talk about a rough start. As a lifelong East Coaster with no particular stake in Dodgers' fortunes, I was all set to enjoy the chaos and revel in the speculation. It's like watching a reality TV show, but with more fastballs. Then, Mookie Betts came to bat, and suddenly, the circus had a ringmaster. You could say that Mookie Betts was born to play baseball, given that his parents named him Marcus Lynn Betts, MLB, get it? His mom played softball and was a competitive bowler, and one of her cousins had a long career in the major leagues. His dad's family was packed with athletes too, but despite these athletic genes, Betts never looked like much of a sports prodigy. When his mom tried to sign him up for Little League, they told her he was too little. So she did what any determined mom would do. She created a new team featuring her son and other cast-offs, like the Bad News Bears, but without the Hollywood ending. When Betts got to high school, he hit 5 feet 9 and then stopped growing. He didn't have raw power, a cannon for an arm, or blazing speed. What he did have was a remarkable range of skills. He could play shortstop, center field, and second base with ease. There was a fluidity to his movements and a sense of control that stood out, and and boy, could he think. Even in high school, his coaches were amazed by how his mind processed the game. He knew when to round first base widely and when to keep running, when to stop short, when to steal. He knew when to swing and when to lay off. He always knew what he could do to help his team playing the game. What Betts seemed to excel at most was learning. When the Boston Red Sox drafted him as a shortstop, he was a light-hitting, erratic player who weighed about as much as a heavy lunch. In low-level Class A ball, they shifted him to second base, which seemed more fitting for his arm strength. The hitting coach toned down Betts' big leg kick, and before long, he was making his way to the majors. Betts grew stronger and more patient, always soaking up new skills like a sponge. He packed on 20 pounds and started hitting for power. Ever the keen observer, he noticed some players using a bat with a handle that looked like it belonged on an axe after they had recovered from injuries. Betts didn't wait for an injury. He tried the bat and found it to be his perfect match. Seeing a surplus of second basemen on the Red Sox roster, Betts didn't sulk. He moved to the outfield and became the best defensive right fielder in the league, eventually cementing his place as one of the best right fielders in history. Suddenly, nobody was mentioning his arm strength as a weak point anymore. His ability to adapt and innovate turned him into a defensive wizard and an offensive dynamo, making him a game changer wherever he played. But that wasn't enough for Betts, and this pretty much sums up why he's a legend. By 2018, he was a two-time All-Star and hitting balls like it was nobody's business. Then he stumbled upon a hitting coach named Doug Latta, who had some wild theories about swinging a bat, stuff that sounded like it came from a baseball-themed sci-fi movie. Most guys wouldn't mess with a good thing, especially not in the middle of the season, on a lazy off day. But Betts, he was like, sure, let's give it a whirl. So, as the story goes in Ben Lindbergh and Travis Sawchik's book, The MVP Machine, Latta and Betts spent a day in the batting cage, tinkering with his swing. Now, the old school thought was to swing straight through the zone for maximum contact. But Latta had this brilliant idea that since pitches are coming down, swinging upward could keep the bat along the ball's path longer. Next day, Betts faced Shohei Ohtani, who was slinging for the Angels. Betts tried out Latta's tips, dropped his hands, kept them low, drove his feet into the ground like he was planting a garden, gave that ball a good old uppercut swing. What happened? Well, let's just say the ball went for a ride, more than 400 feet to be exact, and that was just the start. Betts hit 3 homers that day. Talk about a batting clinic. After that, Betts was like a local hero, or maybe even a folk legend. He could swipe bases, bash homers, draw walks, and make plays in the field that would make your jaw drop. He was basically a baseball superhero. Plus, he could dunk, bowl, golf, DJ. The guy was a Swiss Army knife of talents. Even Yankees fans on their subreddit were like, wait, are we supposed to hate Mookie Betts for his time on the Sox? He seems like the dreamiest teammate ever, on top of being a superstar. And the consensus was a resounding no. Betts was just too darn likable. Then, out of the blue, a year after the Red Sox took home the World Series trophy, they traded Betts to the Los Angeles Dodgers. Why? They didn't want to pay him what he wanted. And let's be real, what he rightfully deserved. The team's GM at the time was all like, we weren't set up to win around him. But it wasn't the first time Boston tried to shortchange Betts. Back in the day, they offered him peanuts compared to his worth. Betts was having none of it. Took the matter to an arbitrator and got what he deserved. More cash, baby. The Dodgers, on the other hand, knew what they had in Betts and didn't hesitate to show him the money, recognizing his value both on and off the diamond. In the COVID-shortened 2020 season, Betts added another World Series ring to his collection, this time with Los Angeles. Then in 2022, he snagged his 6th Golden Glove in 7 seasons, smacked 35 homers as a leadoff hitter, along with 40 doubles, and nearly led the National League in slugging percentage. Talk about a stat-stuffing machine. 2023, the Dodgers decided to shake things up and move Betts to second base. They had a gap there, and who better to fill it than the guy who could do pretty much everything. He crushed it, finishing 2nd in National League MVP balloting and boasting the major's 2nd highest wins above replacement, right behind his buddy Ohtani. Fast forward to this season, and the Dodgers dropped a bombshell. Lux would be sliding over to second, and Betts would be taking over at shortstop. Yeah, you heard that right, shortstop. It raised a few eyebrows, sure. Treating one of your best players, heck, one of the best players ever, like a utility guy, seems downright absurd. But Betts, being Betts, was all in. He actually asked for the challenge, ready to risk looking a bit silly if it meant pushing his limits. And boy, did he push. During spring training, there were some hiccups, errors, uncertainties, the whole shebang, but Betts was undeterred. He even told a group of minor leaguers that he knew the shortstop experiment could backfire, and he was cool with it. He thrives on doubt, sees it as part of the fun. Somebody's going to be right, we'll find out, he told reporters, flashing that trademark Betts grin. It's easy to forget about Betts when you're batting next to Ohtani, but he's not one to stay in the shadows for long. In Seoul, he went 6 for 9 at the plate, and in the second game, despite the Dodgers taking a beating with a 15-11 loss, Betts knocked in 6 runs. There was a heart-stopping moment when he fumbled a grounder, but then pulled off a jaw-dropping, bare-handed grab and still managed to throw the runner out. Talk about making lemonade out of lemons. A week later, in the Dodgers home opener, Betts unleashed his bat once again. He smashed the first pitch at the bottom of the third, a 92-mile-an-hour sinker that didn't sink much, straight into the stratosphere. It was a violent uppercut, a total smash and grab. The crowd erupted as he rounded the bases, his grin lighting up the stadium. And just like that, Betts hit his 3rd homer leading off the game the next night. He said playing shortstop makes him feel like a kid again. And you know what? Me too. As we wrap up this journey through the remarkable career of Mookie Betts, one thing becomes abundantly clear. He's not just a player, he's a phenomenon. From his humble beginnings to his meteoric rise in the world of baseball, Betts has captured the hearts and minds of fans everywhere with his unparalleled talent, unyielding determination, and infectious love for the game.